Hello, my name is Brian Cochran, and I am with BizUp 101 and Gospel Worldwide. And today's webinar is on the power of the internet and using it for ministry. And this is part of the 21st Century Marketing and Promotions seminar series. And today we're going to be going into some great concepts and ideas, some of the latest things that are out. Little background on me: I have been in business now since 1976. And then started my first marketing company in 1981, where I was doing marketing promotions, specializing in restaurants and nightclubs, entertainment, putting on concerts and plays, and folks were hiring me to do those things. And then as time grew along, I grew and the ministry grew, and so we're now providing a great service for anybody and everybody. And today's seminar and webinar series is on doing for church and ministry. And so why don't we get into it? The objective of our webinar seminar today is to learn the new ways to promote and market your ministry and church utilizing the internet, stepping outside the box and doing something different. If you want something different, you got to do something different. Build a online church and to learn how to partner with BizUp 101 a marketing department to help you to put together your radio ministry as well as webcasting ministry. Most churches and ministries do not advertise. Did you know that? For some reason, the church thinks that advertising is a bad word or it is something bad. The Bible says and tells us to go into the hedges and highways and byways and compel people to come. One of my favorite stories is the one where Jesus he was on his way on the road, and he stopped off at the well, and he ministered to the woman at the well, and he told her to go, and she went running into town and became an evangelist, and going into town and telling everybody that I know a man that knew all about me. And so we too got to go tell about the risen King, the one that has been able to deliver, set us free, and save us, that we need to let the world know about him. And so by doing marketing promotions is a great way, and that's the way to do it. Before we get started, there are 4 words that we need to understand and what they mean, because they do mean something different. And this is going to be coming from a business perspective, but then I'll tie it into how it works in ministry. Marketing, promotions. Number 3 is branding, and number 4 is advertising. And so we'll go over to each one briefly. We won't go into great detail today because it's not really important. More so, if you want a full detail, we have a Guerrilla Marketing 101 course that will take you through each and every aspect and take our time through each and every one so that we get a full understanding, and then we'll also help you put together your own marketing mix utilizing all these tools. But for today, we're going to be talking about the internet, but I just want to go over this briefly so that we can understand what they are. And so as we go along in this presentation, then you'll see the different ways that you can do some of the others, so put together a mix within your church and your ministry to be able to do what God has called us to do. Amen. So number 1 is marketing. What does marketing mean? Marketing is the process of teaching consumers why they should choose your product or service over your competitors. If you are not doing that, you are not marketing. It is that simple. The key is finding the right method and defining the right message to use to educate and influence your consumers. Promotions is number 2. It is the communication link between sellers and buyers for the purpose of influencing and informing or persuading a potential buyer's purchasing decision. Promotion is one of the 4 elements of a marketing mix: product, price, promotion, and distribution. The following are 2 types of promotion. One is called the above line, and the other is called below line promotion. The above line promotion is in the media: TV, radio, newspapers, internet, mobile phones, and historically illustrated, as well as illustrated songs, in which the advertiser pays an advertising agency to place an ad. Below the line promotion is all other promotion. Much of this is intended to be subtle, even for the consumer to be unaware that the promotion is taking place. meaning sponsorship, product placement, endorsements, sales promotion, marketing, direct mail, personal selling, public relations, trade shows, conferences, and etc. Number 3, advertising. What is advertising? Advertising is a form of communication intended to persuade an audience, viewers, meaning viewers, readers, or listeners, to purchase or take some action upon products, ideas, or services that you're offering. Advertising includes the name of the product or service and how that product or service could benefit the consumer, to persuade a target market to purchase or to consume that product brand. These messages are usually paid by sponsors and viewed via various media. Advertising can also serve to communicate an idea to a large number of people in an attempt to convince them to take a certain action. It is that simple. Let's go to number 4, branding or brand. What is brand or branding? The American Marketing Association, the AMA, defines a brand as a name, term, sign, symbol, or design, or a combination of them intended to identify the goods and services of one seller or group of sellers and to differentiate them from those of the other sellers. Understanding branding. Therefore, it makes sense to understand that branding is not about getting your target market to choose you over the competition, but it is about getting your prospects to see you as the only one that provides a solution for that problem. The objectives that a good brand will achieve includes: delivers the message clearly, confirms your credibility, connects your target prospects emotionally, motivates the buyer, and concretes user loyalty. Why is it that McDonald's and Coca-Cola still advertise? Well, the reason they do so is because they want you to think of them first, not just for beverages, or not just for if you want Coca-Cola or you want hamburgers, but when you want, like in McDonald's case, when you think about eating fast food, they want you to think of them first, and then you make a decision to go to Carl's Jr. or Burger King or any other restaurant that's out there. The same thing with Coke. When you decide to have a beverage, they want their beverages that they offer to be the one you think about first. Just like Nike, when you think of Nike, when you think of buying a tennis shoe, you'll think of Nike first, and then you have to make a conscious decision based upon sizes or styles or price or whatever that you choose to go somewhere else. How successful is your business or ministry if you do not advertise, market, and or promote? More than likely you'll fail, because again, what happens is, if you can have the best thing since sliced bread, which we do. We have Jesus Christ, who's the Savior, the deliverer, the healer, the waymaker. And if we don't let people know about a living God that is here that loves them more than life itself, then how good is our ministry? How good is our church? I remember just recently I was working with a church that had a great facility, had everything on the inside, to help a person in a sense. It had the classrooms for teaching. It had a nice sanctuary with state-of-the-art sound and lighting and video equipment. It has a preacher, teacher, pastors that can teach and preach, and children's ministry, youth ministry leaders in place, and so forth. But nobody was coming in because they were not in a location where people could find them that readily and easily. But they thought that, well, God's going to send them because we opened the doors and we're doing this under the Lord. But guess what? It's a little bit different from yesterday. Back in the day when the church first started, there was usually one church in the community. But today there's a church in every neighborhood, probably 3-4 churches, and at least 10 churches in a city. So because of that means you have more competition. Not to mention there's other religions out there that are marketing and promoting and got themselves out there. So if we don't go out there, how successful shall we be? And that's a rhetorical question, isn't it? What are you doing for marketing and promotions if you are? Is it working? If not, are you utilizing the internet? Well, today we're going to get into it and find out some of the different things that we're doing today and that we're helping people to do. We will discuss how to use the internet, what the latest trends that are out there as far as marketing, cost-effective marketing and promotions, and how we can work together to help you to do what God has called you to do and be destined for greatness because of the type of things that God has blessed us to put together to help you build your ministry as your church. We're going to talk about internet marketing. We're going to use how to use smartphones and smartphone apps. We're going to talk about articles and blogs and e-blast or newsletter services. We're going to talk about text messaging or SMS, web conferencing, webcasts, and also we're going to talk about the power of the internet and using internet radio. And so those are the things we're going to talk about real smart, real fast. Anyway, the first one that we're going to talk about is smartphones and apps, and this is something that's huge and getting bigger every day, especially with smartphones get smarter. There are two type of main apps, for two type of smartphones. One is going to be Apple, and the other one's Android, and those are the two major phone services out there. And so, what would happen is an app is a application, just like on your website. As well as a website, just like on your laptop. Your laptop utilizes what is called applications. It's what is created for you to use if it's to create a document, or if it's to read, or if it's to listen, or if it's to watch. You create what is called an application to help for the software to create whatever it is that you want it to do to accomplish a set goal. Like, for instance, what we're talking about today, utilizing smartphones for marketing and promotion, for instance. So an application was created to do some of the following that we're going to talk about. Smartphones, if you notice on this graph, in 2011, the green line is showing that 49% now, when in 2012 was probably over 55% of people utilizing smartphone technology. So the penetration is growing more and more each day. And so this is just to give you an idea of how fast it's growing and how you can utilize smartphone technology to market and promote your ministry, as well as to use it for advertising purchases. If you got a books or tapes or CD ministry, if you want to sell, or you got a concert or something, or conference or whatever, you can utilize this smartphone technology to help you to do so. So there's something called, the first part was kind of cool. It just came out just recently within the last year. It's called QR codes. If you've been seeing those on business cards and on T-shirts and on different promotional tools, well, a QR code is, or what is it? It is a short, quick response. It is a specific matrix barcode, a two-dimensional code readable by dedicated QR barcode readers and smart phone camera phones. The code consists of black modules. But it's also colorful now. They've come out with 2-3 colors now as well. And it used to be square, but now it's a whole other world. But when it first came out, when I first got this, which is almost a year ago, when I first started promoting this, it was a square code with a white background. Now it's got colored backgrounds, got other stuff on it. But originally it was really basic and really simple, and you didn't know what it was unless you're a part of the in part of technology. So what happens is when you click on it, it leads them to information encoded on it, either to a text URL or to some other data. And so if you look at this one, if you click this one that's on the screen, this one will lead you to bizhelp101.com. It'll take you to our website for you to find information about what we do and who we are. So you can use it for that. You can have it go to a capture page. You can have it go to a smaller website. You can have it go to a text, which is a special that'll automatically go back to a person's phone. Or whatever. It's kind of cool. So, and again, it's called a QR code. It's one of the latest things that's out right now to help you market and promote. I've seen where it's been on a T-shirt, where all you do is see that all you see is this big old square thing on this this code on a T-shirt. And so if you walk by and take a picture of it, it takes you to wherever the person is, whatever the promotion is they got going on, or whatever they want you to see. When you click on it, it takes you there. So it's a great way of marketing and promote your ministry. This is huge now too. It's getting more and more. If you notice, you're getting spammed by text messages now. I know that I am. So certainly, what happens is with certain applications, it also opts you in to get text messages from their services. And so there's a great way to first off do one-on-one texting. But there's something else that's out that with smartphone technology that's great, is that you're able to do big group texting with these different free services that are out there that will allow you to send to a group of, from 3 to or 2 up to thousands at one time based upon how big your contact list is. And you can send them a text based upon, like the service that I use will allow, I have 2 different services. One that allow me to do a video, send a video or audio or text or a combination of all 3 to let a person know about whatever's going on that I want, the message that I want to send out. I have a couple people that send me daily devotionals, for instance, for ministry. They'll send me a scripture of the day and a comment of the day. I got another person that sends they find witty stuff that's on the internet and they'll send it through via the text. And so the text services, because of smartphones, allow you to see, little video vignettes and so forth to help you to market. So say, for instance, you're promoting an event or to promote Sunday service or Wednesday night Bible study. Don't forget about Wednesday Bible study. You can send them a quick text that don't forget about us, and you come on down and be blessed. Amen. So texting is a great inexpensive way, because once you have a smartphone, is that you either go to the Android marketplace or to the iPhone marketplace and put in group texting. It'll pull up a whole bunch of them out there. I don't recommend anyone in particular because they all have the good and bad parts. So I use a combination of 2 different ones. One that does it just like an invitation, and so as an invitation, it gives you where folks will respond either yes, they're going to come to an event, or no. So I use that one for special events, and then I have another service that came with the phone that I can group a bunch of folks just to let them know about whatever I got going on, or if it's a devotional or a meeting or whatever, then I'm able to text message. So utilize text messaging. It's not intrusive, because if you got a smartphone, they're expecting you to do something. So but you can always have them opt in and say, hey, we're going to be sending you texts. Is it okay? And then those that you don't want to do, then you can group them based upon those that want certain information, and ones who don't want certain information based upon a category. You can send it to that category or not. So it's kind of cool. So utilize text messaging as a way to broadcast and promote your ministry or church. Next, we have something that's kind of cool. Again, you can market to your customers utilizing text messaging, and it's a great tool to do. But this next one I want to talk about is from utilizing the internet, utilizing your computer. And you can send, it's the same concept as from your smartphone, but this one allows you to create, this one, the service that you see here, which is not something that, I just grabbed this one. Is just, we have our own service, but I just used this one at the time, that it allows you to send text from 10 people to thousands based upon how big your list is again. But the difference is with this one, you can also send videos and so forth and so on. And less people are using this now because of smartphones. You're able to do the same thing. But for instance, I have a whole different list that's not in my phone that I want to send out. So I have a whole different service that I use for that versus using, tying up, my personal folks that are, personal contacts. I have, a couple hundred in my contact list, so I can send out to those. But those that are not part of, I have a big, huge list that are, thousands of people that I can utilize this service to do so. So you have a choice of using both your smartphone as well as utilizing the internet as a mix for being able to reach people based upon your contact list. Wow. Okay. Now we're going to go into some great little free ways of marketing, utilizing articles and blogs, and I use this a lot. It is a great form of advertising for me as well as assimilating information. Now, why is it that people value book publishers? And the answer is because somebody published them, and so they think they're credible because they have been published. Well, it's the same thing happens with, not as quite as much anymore, but it still does happen where there's certain websites that you submit it, and then they'll approve it, and once you're approved, it's almost the same thing as publishing a book. But it's just an article, just like publishing an article in the newspaper. You send an article in, and if the newspaper likes it, then they'll publish it, and you get the credit for it, and the world values you as a credible person based upon the subject that you are writing about. So utilizing the same thing on the internet is a great way to get yourself out as someone that's credible, someone that's in the know and knowledgeable about different subjects based upon what it is that you're writing about. If it's several Bible studies and articles on how-tos and different ministry aspects or life or whatever, you can write an article. And the difference between an article and a blog is more informal. Actually, it's become formal too. Originally, they were separate, and you can find them separate. But they both accomplish the same thing. Basically, just adding content to the internet, and what it does is it makes you the authority about those subjects. You can add your contact information at the bottom, so that way they can contact you. So again, to build a ministry, when they start to read your articles, it has a contact information. Then you can also link it back to your website. It also works for Google and Yahoo and so forth. Will have your link. The more you link your URL, your personal URL or your ministry URL, the more you have it on the blogosphere or out on the internet, the faster they can find you, the higher you rate in Google as well. So if your name is on 1,000 websites, it makes you go rate up higher than you would if you're on one website. Because I think you're important. The way the spider does it, the way their algorithms are set up for the search engines is set up to know how many times a person. So the more times they find you out in the blogosphere or the internet, the higher you rate based upon popularity. So the more popular you are, the more the higher you rate. Excuse me. Utilizing e-newsletters, and this is also called e-blast. So it's the same concept. Back in the day, before I started using internet, I was using regular snail mail. I would send out a monthly newsletter, and a monthly newsletter were to people that are on my mailing list. Today, it's the same concept, but it's utilizing the internet. And what's so powerful about it is that you can, once they opt in, there's something called opt-in or something called spam. Let me back up. Let's go to spam. Spam is something where you are sending out information to an email address that did not opt in, meaning that you do not want them to. When opting in, it means that you want them to be, to utilize your e-list, your email address to send them information about whatever it is that they want to discuss. So I made a mistake when I first started doing my e-blast services, where I unfortunately made a mistake by first off utilizing my own email address. And so what happened was I got caught in the spam, because I would go out to businesses and I would go different places and I would grab all these business cards, and I wasn't in the know, and I didn't know any better. And so I had a couple thousand, from just going out from seminars and going to different events and so forth and getting business cards, and I automatically added them to my my list, but they didn't opt in. And so what ended up happening was that because of that, I ended up not, getting put in the spam, so I lost that email address as well as a website for a while until I had to go in and get it kind of cleared up and apologize and send a letter and all this other kind of stuff. So two things I ended up doing. One, I learned about opting in, so I make sure I get people to opt in as much as I can. And two, I stopped using my own personal email address, and I got a Yahoo, Google, or Hotmail address, so that way even if I did get caught in the spam for whatever reason, it wouldn't close me out, and it wouldn't bar me from being able to send or people receiving, because it puts you in the spam file, and once you go in the spam file, people, unless they're looking for you and happen to go look in it, they don't find you. So it goes into a special file, or it blocks you, like certain websites. I know, like AOL blocked me totally, so I wasn't able to get into AOL up until I changed the email address, and for them, they didn't allow me to get back in. They just kept me out forever. So the great part about e-newsletter is that they got tons of templates and tons of services out there that are available. It allows you to do like an e-magazine or like a newspaper, 3, 4, 5 pages, 10 pages, based upon whatever it is that you want to do, and you send it out as information and ministry related information or content. The great thing about developing your own e-newsletter is that you can grow as large as you want to. You can manage your contacts, which is awesome, because what happens is, based upon the category that you're sending out, depending on the e-blast service or e-newsletter service that you're using, it will categorize it for you. So say, for instance, you're doing children's ministry, you only want to send it out to children, or the parents of children, then you have a separate category that will send it out to them, for instance. Or if you have a men's ministry or women's ministry or youth or elderly or whatever, you can categorize it and manage your contacts and send out and find out who opened it up, how many times people opened it up, if that campaign was effective or not, if you have to change it and why you need to change it based upon how you manage your contact list. You can create your message and send it out as many times as you want to. It sends just like a newsletter, but it's an email form, and it also integrates with third-party applications. A lot of them do. So it integrates with, say, for instance, Facebook or Twitter or WordPress or something like that, where you can add join our newsletter. Click here, and automatically add them to your e-list based upon what third-party service that you're using. So again, e-newsletters are a great form. It's free in some cases. I know, like for instance, on my email service that I have, my personal email service, it also has a email service within it that I can use it. But it's really basic. I needed something. I wanted something that's a little more meaty, and so I have something that I'll talk about in a couple of minutes that is a lot larger, and it sets it up the way I've been talking about. That integrates in the way that I just showed you on the slide. Let's get into link submission. This is important as well because it's a great way to market your site as well. It allows you to let me read this and then I'll talk about it for a minute. The link submissions and I kind of made a mistake on it, so I'll change it while we're talking about it. Link building is utilizing the various methods that I've mentioned, which I haven't mentioned. Actually, what happens is, actually I did mention it when I talked about adding when you do a blog or an article, as well as forms and directories, that you can put your contact information, which is your URL, and it links back to your website. So that's a link, that's link building, which helps you to rate, to rate higher in Google and Yahoo and the other search engines, right? And so there's two-way building and there's one-way. I'm going to talk about the one-way building. This is where, again, an example is that you on the forum or web page, you only point to your website and you do not link back to their website or put any information on your website about their website. Then that's one way. Or two-way is taking and like there's a bunch of link submission organizations, services out there where you put your link on there in your link section, and then they put you in their link section, and you do a cross promotion where you help each other to grow, and you both grow at the same time. So it's reciprocal because you're sowing into each other's businesses or ministries at the same time. Which I do a lot of that because it's something that I realize that it's important for ministry and so forth. And so we set up our own link submission where you can add your own articles on our websites. We have Gospel Worldwide, GWW1.com, which stands for Gospel Worldwide, as well as BizHub 101. We set it up where you can add your articles to our website as well as your blogs or website, and then we can also add you to our ministry business directory that will also give you, again, another forum to be able to reach other folks to promote the gospel, as well as to get you us for link submission, so that way it's one more place that you can be out there in the blogosphere and in the internet to be able to promote your website. You can also add your contact information to the website as well, to the submission as well, so that way they can link back to you to find out more information about your ministry, and you can grow from there. Let's get into something which we're doing right now, which is live webcast and broadcasting. And this is, again, the power of the internet. And this is one of my favorite, subjects because it's one of the greatest technologies, because a lot of churches cannot afford to advertise or even broadcast on TBN or Channel 9, Channel 11, which are local out here, or Channel 7, or the Word Network or the Church Channel. So we found a way that's cost effective, which is called webcasting, where you can broadcast your Sunday service. You can do just a great number of things that you're able to do utilizing the internet. Web conferencing first is used to conduct live meetings, trainings, and presentations via the internet, which is what we're doing right now. In order for a person to view this, they would have had to link, got a link to come in, put in their password to view this webcast. In a web conference, each participant sits at his or her own computer and is connected to other participants via the internet. And so what's so awesome about that is that you're able to send it out to as many people with the platform that we're using, which is called IM Tool Suite. It allows you to have in this webcast web conferencing system side, you're able to to bring in 200 people to be able to get into a broadcast. So it's alive. It's private and semi-private. Then it also has a setup where you can go into a smaller room with 4 people and you and 3 other people and have a private conversation with 3 other people. And so it's a great medium, a great way to broadcast and to do what God has called you to do as far as getting the message out of Jesus Christ. Ways to use webcasting. You can broadcast the following for private meetings, what we just talked about. You can also broadcast your services and Bible studies. There's 2 parts of the service that we're using. One is this private session, which is doing right now, but then they also have a live cast or webcast service, part of it as well, that you can broadcast to millions of people based upon just sending out the URL. They will come to your website versus this webcast. This is a special link where with a webcast you can embed it on YouTube. I mean, you can embed it on Facebook. You can embed it in also in on your website or your minister's websites, and people are able to tune in and watch a broadcast. Only with a webcast, it's 2-way communication in some cases, depending on how the webcast is set up. I mean, the web conference is set up. With a broadcast, it's one way. It's just like watching regular TV, but it's on the internet. Something called webisodes as well, and so you can set up webisodes just like you do if it's just like you see on soap operas and so forth. You can set up webisodes or pastor's perspective, where you can sit in a 2 or 3 of you sit in a room and you talk about whatever the subject matter may be for that time or period. You could also use it for online school of ministry or Bible college as well. So it's set up for you to do, again, because of the web conferencing portion, that you can set it up for a private meeting where a private class, so whoever your students are could tune in and have a live lecture and be able to ask questions in this platform to allow your students to be able to grow and mature and be anywhere in the world, and you can minister to them and they can learn about Jesus Christ and learn how to do ministry or whatever aspect of your school of ministry or business school or whatever is, but it's great for e-learning. It's also going to be used for live prayer room as well, and that's kind of cool because live conference call is real big, but now you can do the same thing and do live webcasting where you can see each other and be praying for one another just like you do on the phone. But with this system, you can do the same thing as far as using it for a prayer room, as well for private meetings as well, presentations and so forth. Is all available for you to use it on live webcasting in most systems that are out there today. And so, and whatever you imagine you can do. The cool part about broadcasting and webcasting is you can set it up for Bible studies, and so those folks that are that are shut in, those folks that are out of the state, you can use this. It's a cool thing because the couple things that I shared with you earlier, I have a couple churches that do church online only. And so they have 350. I have one church that has 350. A couple of them has over 1,000 people that tune into a broadcast only. They don't have a church, a physical church. They do it just like we're doing right now. Have a live broadcast where folks come into the room and he ministers the Word of God and he prays for them, and and then he also uses it for Bible study as well as prayer. And the cool part about it is on this platform, people, at the end, he tells them, just like tithe and offering, people tithe and give because he gives a link that you're able to share for folks to go to his PayPal account to give a donation or go to the website and do a donation. And the cool part about it, I'm going to back up just for a second because I missed it earlier. I have one pastor that's utilizing the e-newsletter and the e-blast service as a means for church as well, and it does the same thing. He sends out weekly newsletters and sends out weekly reports, but now we're tying it into a live broadcast where he's doing a Saturday service on Saturday, and so you do a live broadcast on Saturdays and still utilizing the e-blast email ministry to be able to minister to the people. So this is a great way for you to minister utilizing the internet and these tools. And you can do live video streaming 24/7. You can also, one of the things that I share with ministers, especially with pastors that have several ministers on staff, that you can also allow others to utilize by having them be moderators on the system that gives them access to utilizing the system, so they can set up a different time slot, and you can set up your own TV network or broadcast network where you have every day or Monday through Friday, 24, whatever days, however days your youth minister can go forward, your children's pastor can go forward, your women's pastor, your deacons and elders, whoever can teach or preach. You can set up your own network as far as your own online TV network for folks to be able to be ministered to, and allowing your other ministers to have an opportunity. Because Sunday morning sometimes it's too based upon scheduling, your senior pastor may be the main one doing the speaking, so you might not have an opportunity to preach. So this will give you an opportunity to preach or teach or exhort, utilizing the internet as a vehicle to do so. What do you need? In order to do web conferencing, you need a laptop or a computer. You need a webcam or a camera that comes on. And if you got a laptop, a lot of times, just like now, if you notice with on this one, my camera is on my laptop, so you can use a laptop. You can have a regular webcam. You can have a regular movie camera. You can have it's open, but the basic is you need a computer, a webcam, a microphone. Even cell phones work, as well. And then you also need a service provider, which we have a great service provider, which is called IM Tool Suite. And once we get through the presentation, if you want a real demonstration on the other aspects of this conferencing system, just let me know, and I'll gladly give you a full demonstration on the rest of the service, the rest of what the services offer. Now we're going to get into internet radio, and just before we get into this, just so you know, we have a network of radio stations that we've put together that once you learn about this, even with the webcasting system as well, that you can become a part of our network, so that way we can help you promote and be cross promotions working together, and we have a full support staff to help you if you decide to do a radio ministry, start your own internet radio station, that will help you and support you in every aspect to make sure it's up and running. So you can own your own station. You can broadcast 24/7, just like in the webcast. You can. It's a conduit to the world. You can spread your mission, your vision, your message, and music. You'll get recognition because if you build a network, then everybody's going to come to your station to listen based upon you marketing and promoting it, like we're talking about right now. You can increase your church and ministry, just like us. Again, as I said earlier, we have 7 stations total. That we only have two Christian stations, and the rest are secular stations. But we utilize those tools by different shows that allow us, one, to make money. Just as you see, the next bullet point is to generate a business, and it makes money. So we shall, we'll go into how you make money with it, but you're able to make money as a commercial radio station as well. And so what's so awesome about the internet, using the radio part, if you're kind of bashful and you just want to speak, then you can just put up, use the power of a radio station, just like most folks think about radio. They think of terrestrial radio like KJLH out here on the West Coast, or KISS FM, or the K-Wave, which is a Christian station, national Christian station. You can do the same thing as them, but do it on the internet. Again, to buy a terrestrial radio station today, you're looking at several $1 million to buy a station, and stations, and you just can't get a station anywhere. So with the internet, you could be just like I'm sitting right now at my kitchen table doing this broadcast, because I don't even feel like going to my office. I can do the radio station the same thing. If I have a laptop and a microphone, then I can get going on my own radio station. And so we can help you set up your own full station as well. So that way you can do it inside your office or at your home. And then the same thing we talked about, the webcasting, then you can set up and let your other ministers go forth and have their own show and host their own show as well. The potential market in the U.S. is 148 million internet radio listeners as of July 2011. Worldwide is 374.9 million as of the end of 2011, and it's doubled since then because of smartphone technology that folks can stream on the internet as well through the cell phone. This is prior to cell phone technology just got started, but now it's so much larger. So as we showed you the graph earlier about how many people using smartphones, just double what this is, and that's how many people that you can pick up utilizing your station or promoting your station utilizing smartphone technology. How can I generate money utilizing webcasting? And I'm adding webcasting to it because it's the same concept. By selling advertising. That means radio spots, show sponsorships, banner ad placement on your websites. Let me go back to radio spots is called radio commercials that you would sell. So what you can do is you can create jobs now by putting together a sales team, which we can help you do. They can go out door to door, as well as the businesses that are within your church. Or how many times do people come in and say, "Hey, I got an event and I want to advertise it." Well, utilizing your own radio station, now you can sell them advertising on your station, and that promotes you, and you get money for I'll now generate cash flow by them buying radio advertising, either 30-second or 60-second spot. Second one is, sponsors a show. So say, for instance, there's certain shows that you're offering on your webcast or your radio station. Then they become a sponsor. So they'll sponsor the whole hour. So it's a whole lot more money to sponsor the hour or half hour versus just a regular radio spot. So you can generate cash flow from that. You can also back it up with banner ad placement on your website, and what you can promote as well. So when you're saying, hey, go to the website, they can see your ad. The person, Joe Blow car dealership is advertising on your radio station, and then you back it up as a promotion to put it on the website. Now they'll go to the website, and you can sell advertising and say, by the way, if you buy this radio commercials, we'll also put it on the banner, put your banner on the website, or they can, or you can do a combo buy, and they can buy both. You can also you can spell, just as we talked about earlier with the webcast, you can also do it on the internet as far as your radio show. You can also sell a show. So a person they can sponsor, or they can buy a half hour or hour show, and then they do whatever they want to. They pay for it up front, and then they can host their own show based upon the content, make sure it's applicable to your station. And the vision that God has for you, but they can come in and you can offer it to other pastors and other ministers, either within your ministry or outside your ministry, and you can generate cash flow from that as well. So there's a multitude of ways that you can generate cash flow that will pay for itself, as well as become a positive addition to your way that you can promote and market. Your Sunday service can also be done on the radio, as well as the webcast. And so everything that can be done on the webcast can be done on the radio. The only difference is the radio is just audio, the webcast or video cast is video and audio. Podcasting is something that's out and that's great. A lot of folks are using it today and utilizing the power of the internet. Uh-oh. Okay. There we go, finally. Sorry about that. What is podcasting? Glad you asked. Podcast is a digital media files, most often audio, but they can also be video as well, which are produced in a series. You can subscribe. A person can subscribe to a series of files or podcasts by using pieces of software called Podcatcher. iTunes is an example. So what happens is that you could do your sermon series, your Bible study series, or conference series, or whatever, that folks can subscribe to it and automatically get it downloaded to this smartphone or to the iPad or iPhone as a way to, again, get the gospel out. And the cool part about it is that you can charge money for this, so it's another way to generate cash flow by utilizing podcasting system, because you'll go into iTunes or Amazon or even through us. We can set it up for you as well through Gospel Worldwide or BizHub 101. That you can podcast as well. So that way, again, it's getting the message out, and it's a different way for you to generate cash flow that you as a pastor can do personally, just like T.D. Jakes and some of the other ministers that are out there, Joyce Myers and so forth. They offer podcasts, so that way folks can get the full sermon series. Because a lot of times when you see the webcast or you see the broadcast, you only get part of it, but with the full podcast, they can get the full audio, or you can even do it as far as print as well. And you can just, PDF files, the ebook as well, that you can use as well. So the sermon become an ebook and so on and so forth, that you can utilize these tools to market and promote your ministry or personally. We're here to help you. BizHub 101 is the name of our company, which I'm the CEO. And we can help you. We have a full marketing, advertising, promotion company that we can help you to design and develop your webcasting system as well as your internet radio station. And so we're here to help you. And so part of the reason for the broadcast is to show you a different way to get out there and to market and promote your ministry as well as your business, as well as you personally, as well as your church. And we are so glad that you tuned in today to catch out this webcast. And we know that God is able to utilize you on the internet and use that as a great means and tools to be able to get out to the uttermost parts of the earth. BizHub 101 is where membership has its benefits or privileges. To help you develop your plan, here's my telephone number. It's actually our telephone number. It's 1-657-204-6249. That's 657-204-6249. Or you can email me at bizcoach@bizhub101.com. That's bizcoach, BIZCOHCH, at bizhelp101.com. We thank you so much for tuning into the broadcast. Get out there and use the internet because it is the bomb. It will help you to do what God has called you to do.